good, YouTube? Welcome back to JY's Adventures. We back with more cinema summary, bruh. Why you wouldn't survive the Green Inferno. This was requested in the comment section and it got a lot of likes, so I guess a lot of people want to see this, man. I'm ready for more cinema summary, guys. Link to the original videos down in the description. If you're new to the channel, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, comment multiple times for the algorithm. Be sure to watch until the end. I see the thumbnail. So, let's go, bro. Let's go.
These people who just got flung out of the plane and died on impact are the lucky ones. Trying to survive being kidnapped by headhunting cannibals in the middle of the Amazon rainforest is a formidable challenge. Do you think you could survive? I'll be breaking down the mistakes made and explaining what you should do and why you wouldn't survive the Green Inferno.
They just took a bite out of everything out of that neck. Give me that neck meat. What Corey and Dashi say? Give me that neck meat. And the little kid ran off with a leg.
We start with Justine staring at a handsome and charismatic leader of the local activist group. His girlfriend Kara is jealous of the attention and gets Justine to back off, who is determined to join up with the activists. In one of her classes, she learns about female genital mutilation and announces to everyone her dad is a UN lawyer, which catches the attention of Jonah. He invites her to attend a meeting with the activist change team who've got something big in store. Their plan? To go to the Amazon to protest the bulldozing of indigenous land
Bad
by
idea.
oil companies.
Bad idea.
The team arrives in South America where they meet up with their contact, a wealthy man named Carlos, and board his plane. It's all really suspicious. When your plan for the entire operation is a shady 20-something, you know you've gone wrong. Where are the adults and professionals for such a dangerous operation? At their hotel, Lars gets a baggie of marijuana from Carlos, and the group installs a streaming app on their phone. They'll need these to film the hired militias working for the companies, and it will be the only form of protection they have in case they get shot. Sounds like a good reason to have a gun, but the team's leader, Alejandro, is adamant they don't need them, since if one of them gets shot, then they all have to get shot. Of course, no one's going to back out. They're already in Peru, and they're going to give in to peer pressure.
You going listen to Alejandro? Never listen to Alejandro. Is that his name?
To get shot. Of course, no one's going to back out. They're already in Peru, and they're going to give in to peer pressure if everyone else stays seated. The team arrive at a dock and are rushed into boarding riverboats, which are staffed by Quechuan boatmen. They make a quick pit stop to the shore as Lars and Justine need to use the toilet. Justine takes the machete on her way off the boat, and Lars is given a weapon, but he nearly drops on his way off. Gunshots ring out in the forest, and Lars comes bolting back, having almost shot a spider that was about to bite his junk. This is not a good sign. There is some crazy stuff
he's a weak link,
them, and they can't even manage to handle a gun to protect themselves from a spider. At least Justine shows that she's willing to be proactive and use the machete, but this lack of readiness and adaptability by Lars is an indicator that he's not going to do too well when things take a violent
Something goes wrong,
Riding on the river, one of the guys talks about his GPS, which doesn't require a signal, as it's connected to a satellite, which is pretty useful since where they're going, they're not going to get any signals, cell phone or otherwise. The boaters finally arrive at their destination, where they dump their stuff onto the shore and put on these neon safety jumpers and blue helmets, dressing up like the local construction crew. They're told to leave everything except their passports in case they get arrested and head off.
Still take your weapons and all of that stuff. Put them in the pockets.
They're told to leave everything except their passports in case they get arrested and head off. Going deeper into the jungle, where they cautiously trek their way to the logging site. Passing by the ground crews on their lunch break, they lock themselves to the trees in their vehicles. Putting your life in harm's way should require a great amount of trust in this operation. Considering that you don't really know where the funding is coming from, this is not wise. And all of this when they don't even know the name of the tribe they're trying to save. They all put their masks on.
They don't even know the name of the tribe?
Chanting a protest slogan as the company's militiamen arrive. One of them is able to get Justine out of her chains, destroy her phone before he points his gun at her head. But this was all a part of the plan. Alejandro announces on stream that Justine's father works for the UN and goads the militia into shooting her. He was using her this whole time. The gunmen leave them alone once they get a phone call, and the activists are taken back by the police to the boats. They're let go after Carlos bribes the cops, and the group celebrates a successful protest, except for Justine, who is justifiably pissed off.
Okay.
Suddenly, one of the
It went
engines
well.
explodes, and the plane begins nosediving and crashes into
Or
the forest,
didn't.
the tail ripping open, killing Carlos, the pilots, and almost all of the protesters who died in a myriad of ways.
They
These two in
gone.
the front are the luckiest people on the plane. They got a quick and painless death, which is far more forgiving than what's coming to the rest.
That tree came out of nowhere. I'm gonna need more. That plane driver, bro. I need a second, y'all. I need. Oh my gosh!
They got a quick and painless death, which is far more forgiving than what's coming to the rest of them. But the truth is, the likelihood of surviving a plane crash can be as high as 95% if you are sitting close to the exit in the back of the plane.
I'm gonna watch
and
this
are wearing
movie.
Your seatbelt. That is, unless you fly out of it, and if you're sitting in the front like these guys, we've already lost you. The group gets out of the plane, shaken and
Showed it
disturbed,
again.
and Daniel insists they need to find his GPS so they can send out a distress signal. And that's when the engine explodes. They're stranded in the Amazon with no easy way out. Surviving in the jungle is daunting, but also possible if you make wise decisions and prioritize. You want to stay close to the crash site so that rescuers can find you more easily. You're also more likely to find water if you travel downhill. Rivers can be easier ways to travel through a jungle.
Walk along the
and lead you to
river.
a village as well. But right now everyone is in shock and they're not thinking straight.
No.
Clearly. Alejandro realizes he can hear the river, and if they follow it back upstream, they might be able to get help. But Kara walks off into the woods because she spots someone out there. It almost immediately gets an arrow shot through her neck. The others make a break for it, but fall over as they're riddled with blow darts, one after the other. Daniel himself actually finds the GPS, but before he can get it, he's knocked out. When someone starts shooting arrows at you, Plan A goes out the window, and so does Plan B, and basically any other plan that doesn't involve getting shot. You're
Those
just
are
not going to
tranquilizers,
outrun a tribal native hunter in their own backyard, so you really don't have a chance here. Justine wakes up handcuffed on a boat, along with the others who are taken ashore, where an entire village of indigenous people welcome them. These are the Yahes, the same people who they were trying to help. Passing by severed heads on spikes, they're taken into the village where they meet the female elder.
Okay, pause for a sec, y'all. I have to say this. The previous civilizations were so brutal. My accent kind of came out just now. They used to sacrifice and murder and do all kinds of crazy things. Like, for example, like the kids and stuff like that had to go through crazy rituals to become like men in the tribes. Oh man, we better be happy. We better be thankful that, you know, we advanced technologically, y'all. Like,
passing by severed heads on spikes, they're taken into the village where they meet the female elder. When you start seeing severed heads, you know this isn't going to end well for you. But then again, if any one of them had done basic research about the Yahe people before they left, they just might have been better prepared for an encounter with this brutal,
before protesting with them.
Maybe that idea about bringing a gun might have been taken a bit more seriously.
Exactly.
The female elder inspects them, examining them one by one, and for some reason, smiles at Justine. The group gets dragged and kept in a wooden cage, except for Jonah, who's drugged and held down onto a rock in plain view of his friends. The female elder gouges his eyes and cuts his tongue out before she eats them. He's then hacked apart limb from limb, and his blood is drunk by the woman. Jonah's body is then salted, prepared, and cooked in a mud oven as the group stand by and wonder what is going on. Alejandro desperately tries to use his cell phone, but he can't get a signal. With that option off the table, he tells everyone there's nothing they can do, as the villagers feed on Jonah's cooked body. Understandably, but it's time for your survival instincts to kick in.
I got
stock
chills.
of what you have and how it can be used for survival. The cage bars are made from wooden poles, so at night, try seeing how far they go down, as you might be able to secretly dig yourself out. If you can't, see if there's anything you can use to cut the vines holding the cage together, or wrap your pants around the poles as well as a strong stick, then twist them to bend the bars inwards, giving yourself more room to squeeze out of there.
To get out of it.
The best thing to do is keep watch over the tribesmen, noting where they keep their weapons and tools, because there's a chance you'll be able to grab one in an escape attempt. But even if you got your hands on one, they know how to use it a lot better than you do.
Way better than you do.
It's possible you might actually make it out of the cage, but you'll soon find a Yahe patrolman with a blowgun ready to take you down and throw you back in. Alejandro might actually be right. There's no way out of this except in pieces. That night, the group discusses their plan to get help, and Daniel pitches the idea that they need to get the GPS before the battery dies. But Alejandro disagrees because he knows that there are more bulldozers coming to deforest the land. What they did earlier was useless, and he admits that it was all just a PR stunt done to make money to fund future protests. But this could be a good thing if they...
You gonna listen to Alejandro? I'm sorry if your name is Alejandro, bro. It's just like Karen, how Karen is a... Don't listen to Alejandro.
PR stunt done to make money to fund future protests. But this could be a good thing. If they wait for 3 days, the bulldozers should reach this village, and then they can make their escape. Thank God they chopped at Jonah.
Well,
that guy
that's a win.
For a week. The group tries to push Samantha out through the cage's ceiling, but almost immediately she gets knocked out by a blow dart fired by the guard standing watch over them. The next day, Justine is woken up by a village girl and shows her how to play her flute necklace, which she seems to like. You never know what could save your life. This flute might seem insignificant, and yet it's being used as the only way to communicate to a member of the tribe. There might be other things that you can use in the same way. Alejandro's watch, Lars's weed, Samantha's shoes, basically anything you have on your person.
I'm getting the tribesmen high, okay? I'ma roll up a J. I'll be like, here, take this. Oh, we don't want to eat you anymore. What are we doing eating people? What are we doing being cannibals, bruh? This stuff you gave us is really good. Don't do drugs, kids. But it might save you in a situation like this.
Alejandro's watch, Lars's weed, Samantha's shoes, basically anything you have on your person. The women are then taken out of the cage and brought before the village elder, who inspects their bodies. Justine is the last to be inspected, and much to the delight of the elder, she's a virgin. Hooray! Before she's then knocked out and dragged into a hut. Amy and the other guys work together to get Samantha out. First, by setting an alarm on Alejandro's cell phone and throwing it so that it distracts the guard, giving Samantha the time to clamber out and make a run for a nearby boat. They live in the 21st century, and they live in the Sticks and Stone Age. Distracting them with this phone is a great plan, but why do this in the middle of the day? The river is your best bet, since you won't have to cut through the forest and can't get easily lost. But it would have been safer to get on the boat in the middle of the night. That way you won't get spotted by the tribespeople.
You won't be seen so fast.
Distance between you before they realize you're gone.
You're gone.
It might actually be better not to use the boat so as to not catch the eye of other Yahe who might be on the water. If they see an empty canoe, they're gonna check it out, see her inside, and eat her. Samantha makes the case that she can outrun the tribespeople because she ran track, but have you ever tried running track in the jungle? The better strategy might be to send the strongest. These cannibals are built for the jungle, to track and chase their prey quickly and over long distances. Their cardiovascular systems are better developed than ours. It might be easier to overpower one of them rather than outrun them. Justine is brought back to the cage and has for some reason been painted. What happened to her exactly, she can't remember. Though at least as Daniel observes, they plan on circumcising Justine, which could kill her. Or as Alejandro puts it, this could give them more time until the bulldozers arrive. Win-win. They are then visited by the village children who give them food. Amy at first doesn't eat it because she's a vegan, but gives in as she knows she'll need her strength for the escape. But then she realizes that they're eating Samantha as she recognizes that...
Imagine you get trapped with your best friend. Best friend for life, bro. They already got murdered. You weak. You suffering. You're terrified like this girl is right here. They give you some food. You're nomming on it. Your belly is empty, starving. And then you realize it's your best friend that you grew up with. I can't, bro. I can't.
For the escape. But then she realizes that they're eating Samantha as she recognizes the tattoo on the meat and sticks her throat using a broken bowl shard. This is a blessing in disguise.
She couldn't either.
Will eat her body. They stuff Lars's marijuana down her throat. That way, when the village people eat her, they're gonna be high as a cat.
They're gonna be high.
The comes in, quickly chops her up and cooks her so that the meat won't
She couldn't
spoil.
take it either.
Something the group doesn't bring up is what they could do to make themselves less appetizing to the cannibals. A few things they could have done is cover themselves in feces that gross them out, pretend to show symptoms of sickness, or even act like they're being possessed by a demon. All these things I would try, but none of these things are likely going to make the cannibals skip out on dinner. Thankfully, this weed plan works, as the villagers are too high to care about their prisoners. When you're desperate, you come up with...
Yo, why did someone ask me to react to this, bro? This is so... This is crazy, bro. What kind of movie is this? I'm gonna take a group of my friends and we go watch this movie together, bro. She couldn't take it either, bro. She literally couldn't take it either. That scene right there is that scene was so brutal and disturbing.
And works, as the villagers are too high to care about their prisoners. When you're desperate, you come up with desperate ideas. This could
That's
work
a
in
smart
theory,
idea, though.
But I seriously doubt it would get the entire village high. The blood stops circulating after death, so even if the THC was baked into the body, wouldn't it only be the organs that could get you high? I don't know, this seems like stoner logic to me. Well, Justin and Daniel managed to climb their way out of the cage.
Better than doing nothing.
Before Lars can get out, Alejandro jabs him with a blow dart, keeping him around so that the cannibals won't eat him first. And he's proven right, as Lars wakes up to a couple of tribesmen who eat him alive. Talk about the munchies. Also, nice going, Alejandro. Now you're going to be next on the menu. Bet you wished you escaped with the others, huh? Justine and Daniel make their way back to the plane where they find the bodies of the other activists put on stakes.
They got them on stakes.
To make matters worse, the GPS battery is dead. Going back to the plane is logical. The GPS is still there and it might be your best chance at being found. It's exactly what I would do, but that's the problem. Because you'll be found by cannibal tribesmen before anyone else arrives. Also, it's been almost 2 days since they left, and GPS models similar to theirs will only have 16 to 20 hours of battery life. So it's safe to assume that this trip will end in resounding failure. Being swept downriver might be the safer bet, as most settlements are built close to water.
Going downriver.
Find one that doesn't eat people. If you decide to travel by foot,
Peaceful
cover
village.
yourself with mud, not just to blend in, but to keep mosquitoes and bugs away. It will also cool you down, which is important.
When you get
as
hot.
One of the main dangers of surviving the jungle is sunstroke and heat stroke. But thinking quickly, they take one of these still working phones from the dead bodies and end up getting knocked
they got a
out by
phone.
the tribespeople.
Oh,
Justine
no.
awakens to find herself tied up and being prepared for a horrific ritual, and Daniel has his bones broken before he gets smeared with a paste so that he can be eaten alive by ants. Justine finally realizes that they're about to circumcise her, but the ritual is stopped as one of the tribesmen brings back the head of a construction worker. The warriors of the village grab their weapons and run off into the forest along with some of the women and children. Justine is freed by the kid who she played her whistle to, and she runs out to take the phone from Daniel.
Yes.
He begs her to kill him, but when she can't, the girl kills him instead and takes Justine out to the forest so that she can escape. Now, escaping is only half the battle. Making contact once you've escaped before they track you down is even more difficult. The tall trees are going to catch any smoke from a fire, catch any light being reflected, and make it nigh impossible for someone to spot any signal codes from the air. Unless you're lucky enough to run into some good Samaritans.
Getting lost in the forest, especially in an Amazon forest, fam. This man got eaten by ants, bro. One of my biggest fears is to be eaten alive, bro. Shout out to Attack on Titan for that. Getting eaten alive? You just feel things numbing on you?
For someone to spot any signal codes from the air. Unless you're lucky enough to run into some good Samaritans, you're not gonna survive.
No,
Justine
you won't.
finds herself caught in a war zone where the tribesmen are being gunned
and the
down
military.
by the militia soldiers.
Okay,
She's
the
able to convince
militia
them to save her and take her aboard a helicopter out of the Amazon.
Oh, they
Alejandro
saved her.
Dead. When she makes it back stateside, she gives her testimony about what happened. Everyone else died in the crash, and she was saved by the native people, who ended up getting slaughtered by the company's militia. A complete and utter lie. Later, she gets a call from Alejandro's sister, who tells her that she's found a satellite picture of Alejandro, who has somehow managed to survive.
He got away!
You might be thinking that if Alejandro survived, that maybe we could. But I can't imagine what he did to convince them to let him live. The last we saw him, he was screaming and freaking out, thinking he was going to be eaten. Him being allowed to live amongst the Yahes is extremely unlikely, and as the last remaining prisoner, he probably should have been eaten, which is why none of us would survive. But what do you think? Do you agree with my theories, or do you disagree? Let me know with a comment down below. With that said, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe, and check out the playlist that's up on the channel. Until next time, have a damn good day.
I ain't eating for the rest of the day. I don't want a seafood in my stomach. Yeah, I don't want a seafood on the table. That was so disturbing, bro. Oh my gosh. What kind of movie is that? At least what's her name? Justine got like a win out of that. Because they did do it for the protest, so that she did, let them know what's up. Great ideas to try to get away at least, you know what I'm saying? But not bringing guns was their biggest mistake. You gotta bring some weapons, bro. You gotta bring weapons. Let me know what y'all thought of the video down in the comment section. Video was fire, man, but I feel so It's so weird now. So weird now. So grossed out and so like terrified. Let me know what you thought of my reaction. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, comment for the algorithm, and I'm thankful if you watched until the end. Catch y'all in the next video, man. Peace.